Hey guys, it's Jess. Welcome back to my channel. I'm actually not sure that I hit record. Hold on one moment. Okay, so I wanted to do another reading on who do you think they are and who they are really. And it doesn't have to be like super Machiavellian or anything. This can just be who are you relating to them as, like who, you know, the impression that you're getting from them, and who are they like at their core, for real, that kind of a thing. So I do have 3 piles here: pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. I'm going to hold these up because I've heard that it helps. So that's pile 1 with, I like to call this the black egg of creation. And then we have Ganesha for pile 2. And then pile number 3 is this lovely little, oh, it's backwards, rose quartz owl that was gifted to me with the chakra necklace. So those are your 3 piles. If you need another second to choose your pile, go ahead and pause the video here. Otherwise, we can go ahead and get started with pile number 1. Okay, let's scoot these over. All right, pile number 1. First, I want to shuffle these cards. All right. All right, pile number 1. So this is an absolutely overwhelming amount of information, and if you've been on my channel before, you know that I take this journey very much together. So I'm going to be reading this kind of one card at a time. And what I learned from the last time I did this reading is I want to focus more on who they actually are, and I want to just kind of touch on who you think they are, so we can pull like some themes, right? Because that's what we want from the heart of this, is we want to know who they actually are. So at first glance over here, who you think they are is kind of manipulative, a little bit deceptive. We've got the Moon, Mercury, and Gemini over here. So right away, I'm getting the energy of Hasta with the Moon and Mercury here, because Mercury, one of its rulers is Virgo, and the Moon rules that Hasta Nakshatra right in that center of Virgo. So Hasta, I've spoken a lot about. I think a lot of you guys deal with people who have Hasta kind of energy. Hasta is very skillful. I think that you see this person as very skillful. Also, the Mercury ruled nakshatras. Mercury is the very last planet. There's 3 cycles. I'm trying not to get too esoteric here, but there's 3 cycles of all the planets throughout all of the nakshatras. And Mercury is the very last one because it represents skill. And it's the last in the water signs. So this could be Hasta. So just having said that, with the Moon card here, you could be dealing with like a Maga kind of a person. Although I would expect more to see the Sun, because Maga, I more think of Leo when I think of that, but it still could be there. And Maga, a lot of times these people are known for their hair, so if their hair really stands out to you, this is like Donald Trump's kind of a Maga figure, Stephen Colbert, and a lot of times they can have very interesting quirks to them. They might have like a certain place that they go every single day. And with the moon here, there might be something cyclical to their nature. So I guess, yeah, I am actually getting Maga with that. This person could like to go to the same like cafe every single day. They could have some kind of routine about them, but maybe they're more solitary in that routine. Regardless, I can see that you find this person very skillful. This person might actually work with their hands because we do have Gemini and Mercury here. With the moon being here, this person could be a nurturer of some kind, have a lot of very nurturing energy, but again, I feel like it's deceptive. So, especially, you don't really think of quiet when you think of Mercury or Gemini, although it can express that way, especially because of the dual nature. Geminis typically have two expressions. You either have the gestury kind of a Gemini, or you can have a like a brainy Gemini. Either way, there's a lot of skill involved, right? Because even with the jester, in order to make really solid jokes, you have to have a deep understanding of the psyche of every nakshatra in Cancer, I think we've mentioned now. Pusha is that first nakshatra, and a lot of times they're known for being comedians, but Pusha is also the divine priest to the gods. And a lot of times it's one of the funniest nakshatras. And that link is there because you have to deeply understand human nature, human psyche in order to pick up on those undercurrents. I always think undercurrent when I see the moon here. So I think with this person, you're seeing a very skillful person. This is how you're perceiving them, right? A very skillful person that probably has some kind of a hidden nature to them. And that I do think you see this person probably as cunning in a certain kind of way, and very selective with their words. They don't necessarily have to be like super talkative, but they are very selective with their words. There could be something very cutesy about them. Mercury ruled nakshatras, especially in women, oftentimes come through very cutesy. Maybe this person, their weight could fluctuate with the moon here. A lot of times the moon, you'll see the moon having more plump features. This is like more Saturn, which actually is the energy of Pusha to me, because that Saturn, the first nakshatra in that Cancerian Rashi is ruled by Saturn. But overall, the moon tends to have very plump lips. The eyes are very active. With the luminaries, the moon and the sun, oftentimes the eyes are very communicative, like penetrating in some way, but often small on the face. You might, and I do think you see this person as very observant and cunning. Somebody who might be a little bit of a wallflower, but then whenever they do interact with people, they do it in a very skillful kind of a way. So that being said, how I drew two of these archetype cards for the light attributes and two for the dark attributes. And this is how you're seeing them, just as a reminder. So the light attributes, you have engineer and angel. So engineer, ability to give creative energy a practical expression, talent for designing resolutions to common dilemmas. Again, this is that mastery. And also with engineer, I definitely still get that Hasta vibe, the Hasta vibe, because Hasta rules the hands, and also Virgo is such an intellectual sign, and they're really good about building things and putting things down on paper. So I'm just getting that you find this person to be extremely smart, extremely skillful. So with the angel card, the light attribute is helping those in need with no expectation of return. That's very nice. And again, with that moon card, I'm picking up on this incredibly nurturing part to them. Even if this person is a more masculine energy, you're seeing them as being very, kind-hearted. What I think is interesting is we also have, for their shadow attributes, we have destroyer and liberator. So the shadow attribute for destroyer, right, compare that to the angel, because the shadow attribute is intoxication with destructive power, destroying others' dreams or potential. And that could be that manipulative aspect. A lot of times Hasta, Claire Nakti on her channel, check the description box. You got to check out this girl. She's a wealth of knowledge. But when she does the Hasta video, she talks a lot about Leonardo DiCaprio roles, like The Wolf of Wall Street. There's this laugh that can kind of come to Hasta. It reminds me of like Duper's Delight, where like they're very manipulative, and they like to just kind of, this has high vibes and low vibes, right? Like this can obviously be a very nurturing, very helpful kind of energy. A lot of times the Hasta is like a very strong maybe even overprotective mother, right? Like there's never just strictly bad qualities, but there is a quality to Hasta, and because we're talking about shadow attributes, there's a quality to Hasta where it likes to manipulate people just to see how far they can push it, to see what they can get away with, and they kind of feel like, well, if they can pull one over on you, like, so be it. So you might pick up a little bit of that energy in this person. There's something like very cunning about how they are. And if this person's like a business owner or something, I think you probably think that they're like, they know how to navigate that in a way that works out best for them every single time, even though they have this caring energy about them. What they do in particular could be very caring, you know? So the next shadow attribute that you see in this person is imposing your own, for the liberator, imposing your own tyranny over those you claim to liberate, ignoring legitimate constraints. Again, it's like this person or something, there's parts of this person where, like, on the surface, they seem very skillful, very nurturing, you know, things like that. They might work a lot with women. They might work with the community. This could be some kind of volunteer. Gemini rules that third house of community. But there's something you just don't quite trust about this person. Yeah, they have like a very manipulative energy. So down here, I do think you see this person as incredibly intellectual, very smart, right? We have the Ace of Swords coming out. This is oftentimes like a divine channel card. This person, I feel like you think this person is a divine channel for some kind of energy in this way. And this reminds me, I quote Autobiography of a Yogi a lot here, and there's a part in the book where Paramahansa Yogananda, who's the author of the book, but he's also like a yogi, and he talks about how Westerners oftentimes get like completely enamored with street performers in India that basically have a different understanding of physics than us. And so he makes the point that just because someone can perform some kind of magic, they have some kind of skill with their hands, right? Or in their mind, their intellect, where it seems like they can almost perform miracles. It doesn't necessarily equate to some kind of spiritual attainment, because it's like he just says, it's a different understanding of physics. You can learn how to manipulate matter through many means. Some of them are spiritual, but sometimes it's just intellect. It's just somebody has a natural attribute and they can use that as a tool for their self-gain or for the gain of, you know, to prosper others. So again, that manipulative energy is kind of coming through. You see this person as very cunning, and able to like rile people up. Maybe your person, I'm also kind of getting like hypnosis, NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, for those of you who know what that is. And like harnessing the rhythms of language. Oh yeah, there's something about like lulling people with their speech, because they're very careful about their speech in a way that's like can almost put people in this trance-like state, which is a very natural process, by the way. And people who study neurolinguistic programming, which is again just a tool, they've noticed that like humans go in and out of like these states of hypnosis when they're listening to other people talk, or just it's a completely normal process, but you can help that along. So maybe your person, and healers a lot of times are trained in this, because you can like kind of slips a cognitive suggestion that someone could heal, you know, and it's like very debated, but in that community of, and it's, you know, there's a lot of ethical issues around it. Anyways, I digress. You see this person as maybe they pull people around them in a way that's very loving. They help people sort out some kind of problem. I'm seeing that with the engineer card, right, with that light attribute, but the Four of Wands can often be about creating stability from chaos, using some kind of magnetism. There's something very magnetic about your person, but not like, again, with that Maga kind of energy moving from that Cancer nakshatra into Leo. And also Maga is ruled by K2, and a lot of times K2 individuals have a certain pull and a magnetism to them, but so does the moon. You know, like your person's almost like intoxicating and hypnotic to you in some kind of a way. And they stir your passions with the Page of Wands here. I feel like this person, you find them very inspiring because again, with this ability with their language, they say things that inspires you in a very spiritual way. And also they say things that opens up your mind and to break with like your traditional way of thinking. And in a way, it's like you wonder where this person got this like almost godlike knowledge, but they just have a different experience from you, right? In the stand-up Messiah Complex by Russell Brand. I know he's not everybody's cup of tea, but I really love him. And he starts it off by saying, like, there are clever things in here. I'm sorry, I think that's a hate crime when you mimic people's accents. I didn't mean that to be a hate crime. But he said, like, there are clever things in this stand-up, and if you don't get the clever thing, then it's okay, because the only reason he knows the clever thing is because someone took the time to explain that to them. I don't think your person leads with that. I think they're more like mysterious, and they wield that as a weapon about where they got their knowledge and how they're using their speech. There's something kind of princely about your person too with Mercury. Mercury's like a playboy prince. And again, I think that they stir up your sexual passions like a lot. So maybe you think that this person gets around a little bit too. So down here with like how you think their life has played out, I think you think your person comes from maybe somewhere farther away, but maybe you think that their family is at least stable. Like they come from like a good home life and a background that's allowed them to really pursue their education and pursue their passions, maybe even do a lot of traveling. I think you find your person to be, I want to use the enigma word, shout out to my enigma person. But you find your person to be like kind of awesome in that very like princely, you know, they're well cultured. They come from like a good family. Maybe they even live like in a like mountainous, beachy kind of area like this. But I think you just overall think your person comes from a good family background that's stable and has allowed them to pursue their passions. And again, with the Sun card coming out in your current position, you feel that your person is a leader in some way. The Sun, that Leo, right? MAGA. Getting heavy MAGA energy here. So very gregarious kind of a person, very creative. I think you find that your person's creative. You find that your person, I think that they have a strong magnetic presence that feeds a community in some kind of a way, but they're not necessarily super overt. Fun fact, Gemini, that third from the third house, because you always count that house itself, is Leo. Anytime you do that weird thing that I just did, very meta situation, you know, second from the second house, third from the third house, fourth from the fourth house, it's the heart of that house. So Leo becomes a very charismatic, very warm, genteel communicator. This is part of what makes them such a good leader and what has that community. There's that community element to Leo too, right? And that's where it's pulling on that Gemini energy of community. So I do think that your person, again, there's something very eloquent, when they do speak, that tends to bring people together, that tends to be very inspiring, almost healing. When this person shares information, it's almost healing. You find this person very healing. And again, there's that energy of inspiration where like this person just says things to kind of open up your mind, you know? Maybe you want to have a kid with this person, I don't know. Or like they are very childlike in some way. Maybe when you get them alone, they're more childlike because this child's like behind the wall, like throwing off his robe, like we all just want to do. And with the sunflowers are amazing. They track the sun. So I think people kind of are generally aware of your person. Like they're kind of a titan among men, at least in your mind. So, and in the future position, I see them embarking on some kind of new adventure. Maybe your person does like to travel. Maybe they're going on some kind of a trip. But I do think that you find your person to be a very shrewd business person. So you might think that they have some kind of project. This is major arcana. The sun is major arcana. And then the obstacle down here is the chariot, major arcana. So you're seeing a lot of powerful energy come through for your person, at least where they are right now. So, an obstacle for your person is maybe, I feel like you think it's hard for your person to be in this world because they are such an enigma. And maybe also there's an energy of them living separate, like maybe they have two houses or there's something that they need to bring together and they're just trying to do that. So this could be a person who's combining like science and logic and reason with the spiritual arts. And it's not easy for people to do that because they can be ridiculed, you know, and it's hard to find people who are a bridge of both of those worlds. So I do feel like there's something that very divine about that. And it's something that your person needs to kind of work out. Oh my gosh, I was listening to Lisa to Arcane and Stellar, and she was talking about her husband said something about this card, and I'm trying to remember what it was. And I'm getting all fidgety because like I'm on camera right now, but he said something really insightful where it was like pulling off the impossible. Something about like pulling off the impossible because somebody watches her channel and knows what I'm talking about, but it's something like you're being pulled in two directions and merging two impossible things. Oh my gosh, I kind of just explained that already. Yeah, that was it, like merging two impossible things, because you also have the 7 up here, and that's something like very, very divine. So yeah, your person's just on a mission. I feel like you see them. So that's how you see them. Let's see who they actually are over here. Okay, who this person actually is. There's a lot of similar energy, okay, but it is stacked up a little bit different. What I find really interesting is you do have the Gemini card, birthplace of Jupiter, because Jupiter is showing up for their true self, right? The birthplace of Jupiter is in Gemini. So maybe your person has some Purnavisu, because Purnavisu is the last nakshatra in Gemini. That's the birthplace of Jupiter. I think that's so beautiful and poetic, because Jupiter is, of course, the ruler of the opposite sign to Gemini, which is Sagittarius. So, and Sagittarius, this is kind of grown-up Geminian energy, where you develop your reasoning faculties, your curiosity, your using your senses to explore the world around you in a very mental kind of a way. And then Jupiter is like the philosopher. Again, there's that, remember you said you thought your person was kind of well-traveled, well-cultured? They are with this Jupiter card, and they have a big, broad mind that allows them to look at the world in a different way, to broaden new horizons. A lot of times people with a Jupiterian mission, just like we were saying down here, they have a mission of expanding knowledge and about merging, because Jupiter represents Sagittarius, which is a diplomat, and Sagittarians, people with that heavy Sagittarius energy, they love to travel around and learn about different people, different cultures, different ways that societies look at similar problems. They like to, you know, see how architecture is influenced by, you know, the geography. There's that word, you know. They have such a mind for that. So you are definitely picking up on that. It's a part of your person, but I think in a bigger way than you even realize. Like your person is super, super insightful. Definitely. With that Jupiter card there. So we also have Taurus and water. With this Taurus energy coming in here, your person is a little bit more fixed. You're picking up on this fixed energy, but I think you're picking up on it more in like their family and their past and their background, and that they're, you know, like you see them kind of being on the move. I get that, and I think you're kind of right about that, but there's such a fixedness to them. Your person does like nice things. They like luxury, they really might like food, but they're incredibly determined and motivated. With this Chariot card down here, I'm picking up that you think your person has a divine mission. I'm getting that with Taurus, but I'm getting that mixed with this Jupiter Taurus energy. Like your person has the wherewithal and the steadfastness to push new ideas out into the world. You need a certain kind of a spine and a backbone to be able to do that. And this is what this is telling me about your person, is that they actually have that. Like they really, really have that. And in the nakshatra of Taurus, you move from Kritika, which is ruled by the sun and, you know, very regal. It's a bit of an orphan, to Rohini, which is that Garden of Eden energy, where you're still being protected and taken care of by the creator. You can really nurture and indulge your senses. And I'm getting that like by the creator, this person's family. Like I do think there's a Buddha was said to be born in Taurus, under the sign of Taurus. This is all related. I'm just trying to like concisely explain things, right? And Buddha was born in Taurus, Mother Mary was born in Virgo, and Jesus was born under the sign of Capricorn. This is like the birthplaces that we've assigned these people. I just learned about this. I'm excited to share it with you. So the reason for that being is that the final test of a spiritual adept is to be able to manipulate the physical world through the earth element, because a lot of times people don't think the earth element is very spiritual, but it very much is. So the story of the Buddha being born in Taurus is Buddha was born into a very wealthy family, right? He was protected and he was kept in the palace, so he didn't really know suffering. So when he left the palace, he was struck by suffering because he knew that it could be different. That, you see the undercurrent of that energy of like, that your person, I think your person did come from some kind of privileged structure. At the very least, they were stable and they had like a loving family around them. So that allowed them to broaden their mind. And so that is part of their, I feel like your person had a high birth. That's what I just want to say. They had a high birth. And that that allowed them to grow and expand, and it allows them to see the world as it could be, as it should be. And so when they travel in their travels, whether this is traveling of the mind, your person could have education behind them, like a lot of education, maybe even more education than you're aware of. Your person could literally always be learning. In that Sagittarian way, right? Of like, maybe they have literally gone to university and they have like degrees and credentials by their name, but like they do, everything is a learning experience for this person. So, yeah, they, okay, hold on. Yeah. Anyways, that allows them to see the world in this very specific kind of a way. What's interesting is Jupiter and Venus aren't usually friends, like in the zodiac, right? Jupiter, these are both the benevolence, right? Venus and Jupiter are the benevolence of the zodiac. And Jupiter deals more with groups, and Venus likes to deal more one-on-one. But what I can see is with this water card, the journey through the water signs is about connection. So your person is on some kind of mission about connection with people emotionally and with their minds. And also, I just feel like I'm getting like the chakras all lit up, like helping people to become their fullest selves. And they're doing that, like there's a way that your person does that on a big broad scale where maybe they're talking to people. You see this happening. Oh, definitely over here with there's some kind of communal energy about your person and they might give to a lot of charities, by the way. And they speak with a lot of authority. Jupiterian ruled people, whether or not they're full of shit, you should be aware of this. Whether or not they're full of nonsense, people just believe them because they say what they mean with such force behind it. A lot of times they do know what they're talking about because Jupiter is really smart energy. And also very benevolent. These are very happy people for the most part, very philosophical. And then Venus, like it just deals more with one-on-one. So I do feel like your person, there's something about your person that you've noticed where they come to life a little bit more. They're more personable, they're more vulnerable whenever you kind of get them alone, right? So your person, I'm seeing all of that energy in who your person actually is. Your person is a very lovely person. Quite benevolent, very giving. They might have a lot of resources. They might have more resources than you're even aware of, especially cash money with the water card over here. And they might be investing in a lot of things too. So their light attribute, we have martyr and king. So the light attribute for martyr is learning the transcendent nature of service to oneself or a cause. I'm definitely picking up on that cause energy, y'all. Like your person is an activist of some kind, and even if they're not overt about it, your person likes to give to charities. They have causes that they feel brings value to the world. They love to support. They're careful with their energy. They put their energy, whether you're talking energy in the form of money or time or effort, your person's putting energy into, they're stoking the fires of the things of the world that they want to see. And then with the king, we have enlightened, benevolent leadership befitting those in your charge. Your person is definitely a leader of some kind. You're picking up on that energy, and you're absolutely correct about that. Your person it's large and in charge, and they're comfortable there. They're comfortable there. Even if they're quiet, they're comfortable there. So let's look at their shadow attribute. We have exaggerated belief that you are the only means through which a cause can succeed. Oh, man. And then child wounded, shadow attributes. Blames all dysfunctional relationships on childhood wounds, resists moving on through forgiveness. So your person, they feel such a charge within them. And it's like, yes, we all have to do our part. You know what I'm saying? We all have missions here, I think. And your person needs to like do their part. But there is kind of like an arrogance to your person where they think that they're the only means through which a cause can succeed. Also, one of the downfalls of Jupiterian people can be that they are drawn to other people with like success and status. Like they notice kind of status. I'm also getting that with Taurus energy, like they like nice things. Your person might come off as very elite, or they run in elite kinds of circles. And so I think that they separate themselves out from like the common man, even if it's just in their mind. Like they give. It would be like Six of Pentacles energy, where it's like they give, but they're always giving from a place of superiority. And you know what? This person legitimately has a lot to give. Like they do stand apart in a lot of ways. But just like I said at the beginning with Russell Brand, where he was saying, the only reason I know these things is because somebody took the time to teach me. And in our society, when sometimes like when someone takes time to teach you, it's because like you could afford to go to university, or it costs money. There's like a gatekeeping process that a lot of times is very tied with status. I feel like that's a conversation we're all having very openly now. And your person has had access to these things, and they kind of maybe falsely attribute that to like themselves. Like this person's been given a lot. They have a safety net under them, and they like think that they've done more. I feel like I'm trying not to be rude, but like they're like estimating how much they were always going to have access. Do you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to say. So, child wounded, right? Blames all dysfunctional relationships on childhood wounds and resists moving through forgiveness. Your person, a lot of what they have to learn, like on an individual level. I'm getting that book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, like with the Jupiter energy here, but like on a business front. But your person they have a lot of karma around relationships, because your person has always been able to rely on their status, their knowledge, being superior in some way in order to have relationships. I'm getting a heavy Six of Pentacles vibe here. So it's like when that gets taken away, who are you? You know, how do you form relationships with people that are genuine? You might even see this in this person and you're like, hi, I would like to have a genuine relationship with you. Pick me. But yeah, I can see that your person probably struggles in relationships because your person wants to be around people of status on some level, whether or not they admit that. And so they want to be a person of status so that people would want to be around them. And I do feel like in their relationships, they look for someone who is like beautiful, you know, very beautiful in some kind of way. And also very sweet, like kind of the picture perfect feminine, or the picture perfect masculine that is like very cultured, very educated, beautiful. This person needs to be with someone that other people covet or like look up to in some kind of a way. I'm also getting, you know, She's All That from like the 90s. There's a movie in the 90s with Freddie Prinze Jr. and his sister, like at one point, it's Rachel Lee Cook's in there too, because she's like the nerdy art student, and he originally takes this awful bet to like take her to the prom, but he's got to turn her into this like, you know, ugly duckling to the beautiful swan kind of situation, but he ends up falling for her. And like, he realizes that he doesn't really know how to go after her because his sister calls him like a bitch magnet, where he didn't learn to develop that masculine part of himself that goes after what it wants, because that's more sun energy. And it's funny because you see sun energy in your person over here, but I don't really see sun energy. Definitely we have developed masculine energy here through the Jupiter. So if you're dealing with a dude, but I'm not, well, we have King here. We have King here. Okay, we'll give it to him. But yeah, there's something about your person like being a bitch magnet. They're used to things kind of coming to them, which you're picking up on if you're picking up on that MAGA energy, because that's K2 and it's sun ruled and it's very magnetic, and it just draws people in. Very hypnotic, right? You have the water card over here, so definitely your person has this very emotional, hypnotic quality. Your person's a philosopher, definitely. Person's a philosopher, they like to think about psychology, personal relationships. They love to think about psychology, your person. So, moving down here, first of all, you have them pegged as the Page of Wands over here. Just saying, they're showing up as the Queen of Wands over here. Very sexy, very magnetic. Somebody who, again, I'm getting a cut above the rest here with the dragon, like she's on the dragon. And I always think with Queen of Wands, like that Pisces, Aries cusp, somebody who's very charismatic. So your person's charismatic, but she looks very like stoic and tight-lipped here to me. And even the dragon. So I'm seeing the dragon as some kind of status symbol. Your person might drive a nice car, or they have status symbols around them. They like to surround themselves with markers of their attainment. You know, they kind of signal to people that they might be out of their league or something. But they also, knowledge I'm seeing here is very important to them. They like to they might literally have like their diplomas displayed prominently, but they like to be crowned with knowledge, basically. This person likes to be acknowledged. But there's something quite spiritual about them too. And you were picking up on that over here. So I think you're spot on with that there's something about your person that merges some kind of educational academic field with spirituality. And you're definitely picking up on that. And your person wants to be recognized in that field. But your person has some struggles that I don't really feel, I'm not seeing a lot of energy of struggle over here. Like I think you think that your person is like cunning and a strategist like behind the scenes, but your person has a lot of struggles with the 10 of Wands. I think they have a lot of responsibilities with all this energy of people looking up to them and trying to keep up with the Joneses, with status and all of that. It really is hard for your person to kind of carry. And they do have a lot of goals that they're trying to reach, and they have a lot of ideas about how they're supposed to get there. And I think your person puts a lot of pressure on themselves to get there and get there fast. And that actually could be something that motivates them in their own spirituality and spiritual practice, because you know, your person understands that the process of suffering and like how it leads to greatness. And so why I say the thing about the spirituality bit is because we also have the 9 of Cups here. So your person can have a very strong meditative spiritual practice. Like I said, I really do see your person as very spiritual. I do think your person likes to read spiritual texts, spiritual law, like the Torah, the Quran, the Vedas, things like that. Like your person's a bookworm. They're smart. I'm getting Puff the Magic Dragon. Remember that show? And he like, at the opener, he puts the ketchup on the books and like eats them. I was so fascinated by that as a kid. I was like, you cannot eat books, and I felt like I could taste it. I have a Venus in Taurus. It's visceral. So your person does like to sit and read. They like to read, like cozy up with some soft blankets and some candles, a little wine, and like read a book. And a lot of times that has to do with different cultures. Your person might be fascinated with other cultures, archaeology, those kinds of topics, but also spiritual topics with the water card here. And I can see that your person probably has developed some kind of a spiritual practice. We have hectic lives, and just a little meditation really, really helps. So I do think that your person is very self-fulfilled, very self-satisfied. They have received a lot of rewards and accolades, and they feel very happy about that. But your person also needs like a solid escape from all of their pressures. So maybe your person drinks a little bit. But overall, I'm getting like very healthy energy where maybe they like to go hiking. There's a certain natural spot that your person likes to go, or they go on like a vacation, the same vacation every year, where they like to like let loose, and where they know that there's not a lot of people. Maybe your person even has a vacation house or something, because they certainly seem to have some means up here. But, I think your person travels anyways, but I do think there's like a specific spot that's like really important to your person. You know, maybe they go there, they like cut their phones off for a while and just chillax. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. And then, your person really does like social interaction, I feel. They like to be alone, but it's not like a burden. I'm not sure if you see it as a burden, because I think some of you do, some of you don't, but like they're pretty good at it. So with the High Priestess, I do think your person comes from something, some kind of wealth attainment. Maybe their family is very well educated. I do feel like their family is maybe even especially their mother is of some kind of status, very well respected in some kind of a community. Their background, they were very well educated. Maybe they went to some kind of a private school or something, but they were very well educated. They might even come from a spiritual or religious background. There could be something very witchy about their mother, but it has this feel of being deeply esoteric. I'm thinking that the mother, you know, they could follow, you know, one of the religions of the book, like Judaism or Islam, where they're really following lunar calendars. The mother was a huge part of this person's life. I do feel like their mother was quiet, very respectable, and taught them to be well-mannered, and was very highly looked upon in the community. Their mother could have had some kind of status. There's a legacy of the women in this person's family that is very, very impressive. And what I can see in the present, we have the energy of the moon here twice. These are both major arcana. And so I'm getting with the moon card here that your person, right, we had this up here with the child wounded as their shadow attribute, blames all dysfunctional relationships on childhood wounds, resists moving on through forgiveness. Maybe their mother was an academic and their mother was never really home and put a lot of focus on her spirituality, did a lot of work with women. So I feel like this person's mother did a lot of work with women, or somebody in their family, their grandmother was like a healer. That's that kind of energy. And so they were always like maybe helping out the community in that way, and they didn't feel like they got access to their mother a lot. And so your person, I feel like, tries to help women. There's actually a huge energy of being very giving and and helpful to women here. Gyneconitis. Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, when Bridget goes and she does her little archaeology thing, and the room they're exploring is the gyneconitis, where the women spent most of their time. So I can see that energy over here with your person, but there's a lot of fears of inadequacy, like especially being inadequate for a woman, meeting the needs and expectations of women, because they're not sure that they ever did that for their mother. And I'm not asking you to take this on, by any means. Just worth noting that we have this fertility symbol of the divine egg of creation. So it's like your person wants to embody this very divine masculine energy, regardless of what gender they are, because they're always trying to prove that they're worthy for women. Like, your person holds women in very high esteem. They probably like being around women, but they want to be like respected. They want to be like that alpha that kind of takes care of more feminine energies, not just women, but like the vulnerable and people who are wounded. That's probably why your person is a healer to begin with, because I'm definitely getting that your person's a healer. But yeah, there's like a part of them that they don't really show. And your person might struggle with depression, but it's like they circle in and out of it. And I feel like they circle in and out of it because there's something external that they do to try to mitigate it, like traveling, like maybe drinking, going out, being in public. So I feel like your person can kind of keep themselves propped up a little bit, but they still always kind of fall back into that deep worry that they're not good enough, or that they're not enough, that they can always be more. This is a person who has like been brought up to strive. To strive to be better, and they never really saw somebody being content. And so that, I do feel like as well, is a part of why they have thrown themselves into spirituality, why they want to be some kind of spiritual teacher, because they want to help people find this place of like relaxation, So in the future, well, hold on, maybe here. Well, in the future, there's some kind of fighting and competition. Again, there's some kind of energy of your person pushing ideas out into the world. I feel like it does take its toll on your person. And your person has an emotional side to them. I do think that they're very tied to the work that they're doing on an emotional level. It means a lot to them. So this fighter energy it takes a lot out of them. But it is something that I'm also getting the energy of debate. Like your person might need to debate their ideas, especially if your person is an academic. Maybe they're, defending their dissertation or something like that. They know that they're going to have to defend their ideas, their passions. Also, like maybe the people that they're around are super academic. People who run in academic circles, it's like if you talk too much about spirituality, people like start to look at you a little cross-eyed, And so your person just might be kind of fighting off that energy. With the wands energy here, I'm getting like that soul energy, the energy of belief, the energy of like soul mission and individuation. With the suit of fire, I get that process that Carl Jung termed individuation, which is the process of becoming a sacred individual. And so your person is trying to become an individual. And you see that over here with this chariot energy of like merging these two almost impossible things. Your person has a larger than life quality to them. With Taurus right above the king, this is the energy of Critica. A lot of times people who are Critica have like larger than life personalities. Your person has a lot of energy for this work, for their passions and their soul mission. So the things that are holding them back is like they don't really know who to trust with the 5 of Swords here. And it's like they're in an environment that I do feel is highly competitive. And it's like may the strong win. And your person is strong and they know that, but they still have to do the work. You know what I mean? So they're trying to basically gain their strength. That's part of why they learn what they learn about spirituality too, is to help fuel them through this mission. Like, you need your little baggie of dates and cashews to like get you energetically through. And your person's doing that with spirituality and spiritual practices. So yeah, that's one obstacle that they have of like overcoming what they need to do. Your person's also very sensitive to criticism. Like very sensitive to criticism, because this part of them that wants to be looked on in a very high light, it's super, super sensitive. And so whenever they're putting their ideas out there, I know that you see your person is very strong, and they are, but they are like, again, there's that sensitive side to them that they're so attached to their ideas that it's really hard for them to put it out there and have it be like scrutinized and whatever. So your person spends a lot of time like crossing their T's and dotting their I's because they want to be ready for this moment. So your person has a lot on their plate. Yeah. And that is really all I have for you guys, pile number one. I know that was a really long reading. Please let me know if that resonated, and I would love to see you guys popping around in my comments and stuff. So I do really like to talk with people, so I'll see you guys down there in a non-weird way. Bye, pile number one. All right, pile number two. Let's see. Who you think they are and who they really are. Ready, set, go. Actually, pile number two, that was a really long reading. I'm going to reset and have a drink of water, and I'll be right back. Sorry about that, pile number two. I'm back, and let us get started here. No, they really are. They really are. Okay, pile number two. So like I told pile number one, and for those of you guys who watch my readings before, and especially the one that I did like this before, I learned a few things from doing that the first time. This is a lot of information to kind of process, so I do very much move card to card and whatnot. I am going to focus more on this side of who they actually are, because I feel like that's why you guys came to the reading. But that being said, I'm going to fully explain how you guys are seeing them. That way you can see if this resonates, and also just to get maybe something will be illuminated about how you're relating to them as a person. Right? So let's go ahead and jump right in. Right off the bat, the first thing that is coming to mind, pile number two, is that your person is a lot more cerebral and a lot smarter, a lot more logical than you're probably giving them credit for. Because not that you don't think that they're smart, but I see that you find them as very charismatic, very alluring, very sexy energy right here. I am kind of getting, we don't have the Queen of Wands showing up in this reading. We have the King of Wands over here. But with the fire energy combined with the water energy, and also with the energy of Taurus, I'm just getting a person who is very sensual, very loving, very tactile, very genteel, but also sexy, charismatic, someone who moves through the world with a sense of purpose. With a sense of soul mission, but knows how to connect with people, because I think you see this people connecting with people with that water energy. The whole journey through the water houses is about connection and ultimate connection with the divine. The same with fire, it's about more developing the soul, individuation, and soul mission. Both the fire and water houses are heavy soul mission energies. There's not an element that is not spiritual, but these are heavy spiritual energies, and the two of them together, I think that you find your person as a very spiritual person. So with the Taurus energy here, I think you see them as someone who finds a lot of value in spirituality. So maybe they make their money in spirituality, or this is an area where you're really seeing them put a lot of their value. And maybe they get a lot of value out of it, because the second house, in order to get value out of something, you have to value it in the first place. That's kind of the catch-22 of the second house. So, yeah. I think that's all I want to say there. So here I have 2 light attributes and 2 shadow attributes. So for your person's light attributes and the way that you're seeing them, we have Hermit and Victim. So the light attribute for hermit is seeks solitude to focus intently on inner life and serves personal creativity. And victim, we have prevents you from letting yourself be victimized or victimizing others. So like I said, there's a spiritual side to your person, which the hermit just obviously brings up the hermit card, right? Which is major arcana. It has this heavy kind of energy. To get to the stage of the hermit, a person has to become the emperor, someone who is like kind of, they know who they are as a person and they have a lot of control over their own life. And I see that you see that person in a similar light, where you think this person has gained a lot insofar as like their personal stability, their finances. I think you think this person is very stable and they make their money in a way that's very creative. So it's kind of emperor energy to that. But that ultimately, I think because you see this person as they're on a spiritual journey, you see that that hasn't really fulfilled them. And so they do spend some time alone in order to reflect and in order to like really get in touch with the divine. You see this person as someone who sticks up for people who are vulnerable with the light attribute of that victim card. With the fire energy, this is someone who isn't afraid to speak their mind, but they're also very empathetic with that water energy there. So this is someone who picks up on other people's needs, other people's pain. Again, with the Taurus energy here, I think you feel like your person just has a very no-nonsense presence about them, very common sense. People relate to them in a way that is very common sense. With the fire card here, well, with Taurus, you might see your person as like beginning, middle of Taurus energy. So this is like Kritika, Sun, or Rohini. Kritika being ruled by the Sun, Rohini being ruled by the Moon, bringing in that water element in this sign of Taurus. So Kritika is a very regal sign. This is more of a fighter, more of a warrior. That's also going to come in with that victim energy. Also, you could see that your person has been orphaned or victimized in some kind of way. There's a lot of loner energy here, so I'm definitely getting the energy of Kritika coming through. Kritika is a sign of the orphan. It's that energy of Pleiades too, which there's a lot of talk about the constellation Pleiades in the spiritual community. Although Pleiades, from what I've read and what I understand, obviously I don't feel like anybody knows these things, right? These are just like archetypes, at least as psychological archetypes, hermetic archetypes in our minds for us to relate to certain energies. And who knows how that interacts with like the physical 3D tangible world. I have no idea. To me, it has psychological value is what I'm trying to say. But what I've read about the Pleiades is that they're the protectors. It's like warrior monks under that idea of like you don't teach someone to fight unless they're a monk first, because they need to be able to use that tool in a very discerning way. So that is the energy of Kritika, where it's like you see this person as very spiritual, but also someone who maybe is used to fighting. And I'm just kind of getting some father energy. I think that's more like who they actually are, so we'll get to that in a second. I don't know if you pick up on that maybe your person has been either literally orphaned or emotionally orphaned, and that's what brought them to spirituality, because Kritika was raised by the 7 sisters, right? That represents Pleiades, and they're the 7 wives to the 7 priests. And Kritika is also the blade. So they cut out things that are unnecessary. And either the blade for Kritika, they can use it externally to help shape and create society, or internally. I think that you see this person is using both. This is a person who does a lot of self-work in your eyes, and who really goes, they're protectors. This is a protector energy that's very spiritual. If you are picking up on the energy of Rohini in this person, you find this person to be extremely beautiful, very sexually desirous, very innocent. Maybe this person doesn't even realize how sexy and beautiful they are. There's some aloofness to that, where they're just busy being themselves and pursuing their spirituality, but there's something that objectively is very sexy and desirable, especially in a very feminine way, with Rohini being ruled by the Moon in the middle of a Venus-ruled sign of Taurus. Very, very feminine. Rohini is the sign, right? Like we're still in the Garden of Eden, but ultimately Rohini gives way to Mrgashira needing to exit the garden because of like the sexual impulse of the father. So I think there's an energy to the father here where the father wasn't so great. I'm not saying that there was sexual abuse. I just feel like the father, that protective masculine yang element, was lacking in some way for this person. And that's probably why they fight and stand up, because there's a side to your person that is that you see, right? We're talking about what you're seeing here. There's a side to your person that's very delicate, but that they've had to like almost callous over to like fight for themselves. And so they are a bit of a force to be reckoned with, but you see that they've had to be that way. So with the shadow attributes, we have servant and saboteur. So the shadow attribute is using the lack of money as an excuse not to move forward with life. And the saboteur energy induces self-destructive behavior or the desire to undermine others. Again, I'm getting that energy of Critica and the Blade, right? The saboteur, maybe that your person actually self-harms and you know that about them, but destructive behavior, the desire to undermine others. Like, I think that your person is naturally distrustful. They don't really know who they can trust. And so your person, there's like, I'm just seeing them want to like cave in on themselves. Like, you feel like they're just self-protecting in a big way. And that keeps them from really moving forward, especially with that using lack of money as an excuse not to move forward with life. I'm also getting that tied to that abandonment energy that's kind of through here of like, well, I don't have any support, or I don't, like, your person might have excuses for why they're not shining as bright as you feel that they could, because you think that this person has a lot of potential to make money. You see a lot of value in what it is that they do, but they're not seeing it. Instead, like, they're trying to delight in serving others with a free and loving heart. You know, that's how they're seeing it. They want to be giving because this person is afraid to take, because I feel like this person's had a lot taken from them and they just would never want to do that to someone else. Again, that's that sun moon energy with Critica and Rohini. Those Critica Rohini vibes of like, I want to fight for people. I'm very empathetic. There's that duality of like being very genteel and also being like this fighter, but they can't, it's almost like they can't bring themselves to fight for themselves. You know what I mean? Because that would be selfish and that would be a misuse in their mind is how you're seeing it. So yeah, you want to see this person bolstered a little bit. You see this person is very nurturing. I wouldn't be surprised at all if you think this person has psychic gifts with the Queen of Cups and the Moon here. The Moon is a major arcana card, right? We were already picking up on the energy of the Moon with the water Taurus and that Rohini energy. The other Moon ruled nakshatras are Hasta, which is in the middle of Virgo, and also Shravana, which is in the middle of Capricorn. So it does have that, right? Notice the Moon ruled nakshatras are in the middle of the Earth sign. So there's like a little bit of that earthy kind of energy here to your person. There's something mysterious about your person. You feel like your person has a lot of internal childhood wounds. Yeah, there's definitely some childhood wounds there, but you feel like they're kind of blowing it out of proportion. But that's the thing about trauma. I think you understand, because that you understand trauma. You're very insightful already just in the way that you're viewing your person. So I think you like get it that trauma looks like look at this panther, right? Like, it's this little cat, but then that trauma looks like a panther. I saw a meme the other day that was like, trauma doesn't come through as a feeling, it comes through as like a gut reaction or like an instinct or something. And so like the Moon deals with instinct. So your person just has ways of being that are instinctual and they're self-protective. Your person picks up on a lot of subtle energy. A lot of times people develop these that really do develop their psychic sense. They've been through hard shit in the past. And that's what, like, they're around people who are like subtly manipulative, or like in order to keep themselves safe, especially as a more feminine energy, because I do get very feminine energy from your person here. They have to become very like soft and supple, and that to develop that feminine receiver energy of being very in tune, very psychic, very psychically capable in order to navigate who is trustworthy and who isn't. And sometimes you feel that your person sees panthers where there's no panthers. You know, they see things like bigger than they actually are, which we won't hold that against them. You don't hold that against them. I just heard that like Black Widow Hawkeye moment where he was like, yeah, well, you know, she's like, I don't judge people on their worst mistakes. And he's like, well, maybe you should. And she's like, but you didn't. You understand where this person's coming from. And if anything, I feel like you want to be a protector to this person and really take care of them, because you see them taking care of everybody else, but just not really looking at themselves. Again, there's the energy of poverty coming through. You feel like your person could be making more money with the Five of Pentacles. It's sweet because you actually see, like I said, a lot of value in your person. And I do feel like your person's non-traditional in some kind of way. But again, there's this orphan energy of like, they were cast out of a family unit, or they're the black sheep of their family, or there's something where they just don't fit in, they just don't belong. Maybe you feel like this person ostracizes themselves. They could have like Saturn in the 12th house. or maybe some kind of a planet in the 12th house, but I'm really getting Saturn in the 12th house here because your person could like subconsciously do things that isolates themselves. The 12th house is all about isolation, can be. It's all about a lot of things. Sorry, I'm a Gemini and I notice like weird language things like that. I'm like, it's not all about that, Jessica, calm down. But a lot of times, like that 12th house, it's the energy of like traveling far away. It's the energy of prisons, hospital, isolation. So sometimes like this person and all of their warrior energy, you see kind of isolates them in a way, but you feel like they think it's like a noble cause. But really you're like, there's a different way to go about this. And you just want to shake your person. And you want to give them that motherly, your person has childhood issues, mother, father issues. I think everybody's involved here. So yeah. And maybe you even met this person through some kind of a group that kind of congeals as a family and they left the group. Like they tend to be around a group for a while. They really like congeal, they join, but then it gets too much, it gets too close. They start to feel too bonded and then they have to do something that isolates themselves. And you're like, you brought that on yourself. And your person's like, yeah, well, you know, trauma sucks. So if they're conscious, they might not even be, this could be all very unconscious behavior. And again, we're still over here with how you're seeing them. So again, in the past position, you're seeing the 10 of Wands. This is burden energy, right? They're carrying a lot on their own. And I'm just like, they're turning away, they're walking away. It's a burden for them to be isolated, but it's like, they can't help it, you know? And you see legitimate burden in this person's past. I also think that a lot of it is financial. Like you see that this person has had to work really hard for not very much. You know, this is a person who has a nobility quality to them and maybe even gets taken advantage of a little bit. They don't stand up for themselves. You want to help this person like write up some contracts. You know what I mean? You're like, I know a lawyer that could really help you get the most out of life. That kind of a thing. And again, I'm just noticing how far away this person is from like houses and stuff. There's that isolation energy. You feel like your person's used to self-soothing, being out on their own. And it's like, it's so ingrained, that neural groove is so deep at this point that you're having trouble reaching out to your person. Oh my gosh, look at this. We have the 4 of Cups in the current position. This is all about not being able to see this cup that's being offered to them. You're probably trying to offer this person some love, some comfort, some divine love, some like, let me heal you, let me love you, let me like wrap you in a blanket and give you some soup and kiss you on the forehead and put a movie on, you know? But your person's not really seeing that. It's like they only see people who have disappointed them, who have not really given them their fair shake in life. They can only really see that energy of like betrayal, and maybe they think that they're only of use to people like when they're a good time, you know, when they're smiling and when they can like be of service with this servant energy. Oh, that's a part of this too. Where it's like you see that they feel like they're only wanted around or something, like if they can give something. They have trouble receiving. Your person has trouble receiving. But in the future, you see your person blowing up. You see them like building something really substantial, and it's about damn time. Like this person's Saturn might be kicking in. Like this person might be like right around their Saturn return. Maybe it's further along their Saturn return. That happens right around when you're 30, but Saturn returns at like between 35 and 40, I think. So your person, you could start seeing them have that ramp up energy. So if this person is like in their 30s, that 30s to 40s kind of a space, you just see them, all their hard work really paying off, and them starting to make money kind of easily, like from something that they really love. And yeah, this is just like financial glow up. Because you see a lot of abundance in this person's future. You could want to marry this person and be like husband, wifey to this person, or you can see them like getting married or something like that in the future. Side note, if you have Critica energy in your chart and you choose someone and you marry them, you might be tempted at some point in your life to leave that person for someone who you feel is better for you, like more of soulmate energy, but usually you regret it because of that orphan energy. Like you have to learn the energy of that orphan energy, and that when you make your commitments, you stick to it. This could also be some kind of a commitment or abundance. It's just a side note. If you're like thinking about being in a relationship with this person has heavy Critica in their chart, like just heads up. So an obstacle to this is like the joy of the group. Like your person has trouble relaxing because I feel like your person always feels like they have to work, always feels like they have to make themselves of use to be able to be loved. Like your person just really struggles to like relax and receive love and trust the people around them, you know, and just be in like that community space. Hard for them. It's a major obstacle with Ganesha. But it's a spiritual obstacle. So I'm kind of getting the energy of Saturn. I am seeing the energy of Saturn coming through for your person. Your person could have some Saturn ruled nakshatras in their chart. Pushya, which is the divine priest to the gods, right? This is like the first nakshatra in Cancer, not the first nakshatra, I'm sorry, the middle nakshatra, like in Cancer. But then, it's the middle ones of the water signs. So Anuradha is in the middle of Scorpio, and Uttara Bhadrapada is in the middle of Pisces. And like with Uttara Bhadrapada, they have such good karmas built up that they're offloading, right? It's a second to last nakshatra. It's Uttara Bhadrapada and then Revati. So with Uttara Bhadrapada, there's a shedding of good karmas that you've built up. There's in Purva Bhadrapada, that's the Jupiter ruled nakshatra right before Uttara Bhadrapada. I hope I'm not losing you, but it's Jupiter nakshatras, Saturn nakshatras, Mercury nakshatras, and that is expansive good luck, good fortune. And then with that energy of Saturn that we're talking about here, that spiritual divine hard teacher, you have a challenge after you've received your good karmas, because they want to make sure that you didn't get all big-headed about it. You can put that to work. And then followed is that Mercury ruled nakshatra, which always teaches some kind of mastery or skill. So your person could really struggle offloading their good karmas because they were just in a Jupiter energy of like building that good karma. So just that could resonate. So moving over here, like I said before, I can tell that your person is a lot smarter. We have Mercury, Aquarius, and Sagittarius. Highly intelligent energy. And like I was just telling you about Mercury is always about skill. Your person is highly skillful, very masterful, and pretty cunning. Like they are a person who picks up on energy, but I do feel like it's a lot more cerebral than you think it is. Because you're attributing a lot of this to like this watery kind of an energy, but I'm seeing your person being more air, like being more air and fire. But the thing of it is, Mercury rules the final nakshatra in all the water signs. So that's Ashleisha for Cancer, that's Jesha for Scorpio, and then Revati for Pisces. Yeah, so there's some kind of skillful thing that they are mastering here. Aquarius, Mercury is such an air kind of sign. I mean, it rules Gemini and Virgo. Virgo's an earth sign. But with Aquarius here, I mean, this person is ahead of their time. They are different from the crowd. Like, they're legitimately different from the crowd. All this energy that you're picking up on them, like, being different from the crowd, like, that's legitimate in the way that they are, that they just are naturally. You could have the energy of Purva Bhadrapada that I was just talking about, that Jupiter ruled nakshatra that's at the end of Aquarius and beginning of Pisces, because that's Jupiter ruled and Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius. Just something to kind of think about here. Because again, that's all about acquiring good karmas and things like that. And that's what I was saying is like your person has, I do feel like your person has a stockpile of good karmas. I just want to say that. I just keep wanting to repeat how intelligent your person is. Like, your person, they probably read a lot. They like to study. This is a person who likes to study, and they see things when they study that most people do not. So that's what I'm saying with this, like, they're a scholar. You know, like, you kind of have, like, biblical scholars, and then you have, like, the Teresa of Avila's who are, like, you know, Jesus is giving them, like, orgasmic experiences, like, locked in their little room at night. This person is like a scholar. They're like some kind of a scholar. It could just be in their like private space. So I kind of want to move on from this, and maybe I'll come back up here. But their light attributes, we have poet and God. So poet expresses soul insights in symbolic language, and God is benevolence and compassion, recognizing the eternal force within yourself and others. This is beautiful energy. I feel like this is why you're picking up on like this water. Your brain is like classifying it as this fire water energy. But your person definitely does have like this poetic soul. A big part, voice is like, and sharing divine knowledge is a big part of what this person's mission is on this planet. And a lot of times that puts them separate from the group. I just gotta say, your person struggles to blend in with the group because I feel like they struggle to have their voice heard in some kind of a way. They could have have like an Aquarius south node is what I'm getting, and like maybe a fire north node, or like even Sagittarius. They might have a Sagittarius north node. So if Aquarius is their south node, that makes Leo their north node. If Sagittarius is their north node, that makes Gemini their south node. So this is someone who could be working on, like, this person knows how to do the work in the background, right? There's that energy of skill. Your person is very skillful. They just are that. But they're working in this life, I feel, to bring that energy into like this charismatic fire space where they're sharing a lot of this information. They could be helping to usher in the age of Aquarius. That could be like a huge part of their mission here, with some kind of skill in working in communities, to do that in a very airy kind of way. They're oh my gosh, okay, yes. Okay, hold on. Oh, it's all coming so fast. Okay, so with the Sagittarius energy, right? This is an energy of spirituality, but like I said, this rules the ninth house. Which is all about different cultures. It is like your spiritual gurus are found here. This person is a spiritual guru. They absolutely are. You're picking up on that energy, and I feel like maybe you haven't even assigned it the gravitas that it actually has on a soul level. And I know that I talk a lot about soul level here on my channel, but it's only because I think it's important. So this person, I do feel like, I just want to say it just like this. This person is absolutely here to help usher in the age of Aquarius. This person is a guru. This person with the energy of Saturn, oh my gosh, I just want to say this too. And with the energy of Uttara Bhadrapada that's kind of coming through, I think your person is the divine judge. Like the Bible talks about this moment of, I'm getting goosebumps. The Bible talks about this moment, right, with all the judges. And I was getting that Critica, I feel like, is a huge part of that energy. Saturn, like Saturn is that divine judge, right? So your person might be sent into groups in order to assess them in a way. I feel like it's all very, I don't want to say unconscious. This might just like happen in the back of their mind. They might not even realize it, that they're a litmus for spiritual space. In a way. Yeah. Because there's a lot, I'm just noticing here too with like the crown chakra and like this whole sexual center, because it's not quite root chakra. It's this like whole abdomen area, right? Like the lower three chakras. I'm just seeing that like your person is here to kind of get people acquainted and comfortable with new ideas. These new ideas that the age of Aquarius is bringing in. I feel like some of you might be uncomfortable with this language, and I'm so sorry. This is the only way that I know how to explain this. These new ideas in the age of the Aquarian. And the Aquarius is the sign of the scientist, the divine scientist. This is that scientist energy that pushes the boundaries and like has originally been ridiculed in like the age of Pisces for how can you think that, right? That's like such out of the box, weird energy. But your person is here to like help ground that, help that make sense to people. So I feel like sometimes your person talks above people. Like a lot of people might not be able to understand your person like at first blush, but there is something very beautiful and poetic about their language. Your person's language is so friggin' potent. They know what they're doing. This is what their skill is. Their skill is in communicating. Their skill is in grounding this down, these divine spiritual concepts. But I also feel like there's an energy of them not getting too stuck and attached to this world. I know this, I don't like saying stuff like this because I kind of don't know where it comes from and I don't know what I believe, and I'm just a human in a body and I only have access to certain things just like you guys. So, I guess take this with a grain of salt, but I feel like maybe your person's soul travels around and helps usher in new things for worlds. Oh, Jessica. Yeah, I feel like this might be something. Expresses soul insight and symbolic language. Like here's the thing is like in the beginning was the Word and the Word was God. Like, symbols are such archetypes. Your person is very fluent in symbols and archetypes, and that allows them a different level of understanding of things. And they're trying to like help bring that down with the age of Aquarius. They might know a lot of yogic things like the overall, cycle of ages. And they might, do you read the Nazarath? The Nazarath means zodiac. This is like hearkening to that Hermetic principle of as above, so below, as within, so without, as the universe, so the soul. But your person makes it very cut and dry for people. This is beautiful. So their shadow attributes. Don Juan, using the power of romantic attraction for private agendas. Okay. And then guide, shadow attribute, places financial gain and control over imparting spiritual insight. Isn't that funny? Because after all of that I just said, what is interesting, okay, so first of all, your person could be very attractive, and your person might use that to their advantage. I don't necessarily get a bad vibe. I almost feel that, well, first of all, I just kind of want to say this. Like, attractiveness can open doors for people, and maybe this was a gift that your person was given, because you're definitely picking up on their like charismatic sexual energy, right? That can help people be put in, and so bring people in. So I do think that they recognize attractiveness as a tool that it is, because your person, like I said, they're very cerebral. So they might know that they are attractive, and they might actually use that to further these agendas. But I also think that might be, I don't get too bad of an energy from this one. This one though, like, okay, places financial gain and control over imparting spiritual insight. What's interesting about this is that I feel like you're seeing this person, right, as like using the lack of money as an excuse not to move forward in life. Okay, you know what I think this is? Okay, there's something about the way that your person views money, and maybe even views sex and attractiveness, these worldly things, right? Because I kind of get this like alien guru like energy from your person. There's something about your person's views on money that blocks their ability to share this spiritual insight. And it could be, I don't know, you're seeing them in this way of that they're very like kind of self-sabotaging, and they don't go after their money even though they have this ability to make money. But you also in the future see them as really growing in their money. So maybe your person is starting to focus on money. This is funny energy. I'm actually not really sure how to read these two cards. I got to be completely honest. I'm going to do my best here. But that's really what I'm getting, is there's something about your person's financial understanding. Because here's the thing. I'm reading Liz Green's book about Saturn, and I was just reading a part on earth energies, which has to do with financial gain and money. And she says that like a lot of times people don't view like those earthy pursuits as wealth attainment, building money, that kind of a thing, as a spiritual practice. But ultimately, the final test of an adept is that they can manipulate. I was saying this to pile one. They can manipulate the physical plane, right? So we assign a lot of spiritual adepts are born in the earth signs. Buddha is assigned to Taurus, Mother Mary to Virgo, and Jesus to Capricorn. And that is because ultimately the true test of their spiritual adeptness is that they need to be able to ground that down into the earthly realm. Your person can't do that. Your person struggles to do that, and it blocks their ability to do this mission that they have here, because this is all very airy, air and fire. It's not grounded. It's not grounded or rooted. You want to see this person grounded and rooted. And I just feel like there's something about, they're like high and mighty. This person is like very high and mighty in their spiritual ideals. And they are that person who probably looks down on money and like wealth and those kinds of things. But they're not seeing it clearly. And so it's blocking their spiritual teaching in some way. And yeah, they could be kind of miserly, where it's like maybe they have a bit of a lack mentality, and because they don't open up to like full abundance or something like that, you guys. And then yeah, with the Don Juan card, using the power of romantic attraction for private agendas. Maybe you do see this. Maybe this person is like, with the Sagittarius energy and the Aquarius energy here, maybe your person is like they have a very sexual side to them. And Mercury. Actually, these are all very sexual energies, but they're very non-attached. So your person could be like this is going to range on a scale, like depending on who your person is, right? And again, with the sun energy, any sun, any like the sun ruled nakshatras, right? So like Kritika, we were talking about Kritika specifically over here, but also Uttara Falguni and Suttara Shada. Sun people, a lot of times they have like a series of divorces in their ways. Like check out Claire Nakti's channel. This is where this information is coming from. A lot of times like they can be very divorced, or they have very interesting views on sex, unless chastity is a part of their like spiritual upbringing and part of like what they were raised to like kind of believe in. So that's why I'm saying like this is going to depend. This is going to be like a range based on like your person's beliefs and stuff. But they could be using that sexual magnetic energy up here that they have. It could just be charisma. For some of you, it's going to be charisma. For some of you, it's going to be outright sex. In order to like get what they want. And honestly, it could even just be for protection. You guys, some of your people, like, they use their sexual energy for some kind of protection. Okay? So, again, I'm seeing that your person, we have the Queen of Swords and the King of Wands. So, your person is very intelligent. I do feel this energy of needing to cut off family members. There is something very orphan-like about your person. I still am getting that very Critica energy here. Critica, just so you guys know, and this, I'm trying to be very careful around this because I am, and I'm trying also to make sure that I'm removing myself from this, because a lot of you guys know I'm a Critica sun, like in Vedic. And one of the challenges for Critica, especially like I was raised in the Christian church and I'm very chaste person. Like I value chastity. And, but one of the things with Critica, right, they were raised by the 7 sisters, and they were the wives of the 7 priests, and the sisters, because of their unique like arrangement, they were often accused of infidelity wrongfully, right? They were very upstanding, but they were witchy, and they were, you know, this group of 7 women and like all of that. So there's that energy around your person. Sun ruled people are very sexual. They have a lot of sexual energy, right? The sun ruling that 5th house of Leo, which is creative expression, which is sexual expression is creative, right? So they have a lot of that creative. It rules children. Leo rules the kind of sex that leads to children. That's why children are associated with the 5th house. Very charismatic. It's this charisma energy. So that's what I'm saying. That's what I think this Don Juan card is your person has some kind of a charisma, and they do know how to use it with this Mercury. They do know how to use it as a skill. So there could be a lot of gossip around your person, and that gossip could be a trigger for your person. They could cut people off very quickly. I do feel like your person, the Queen of Swords, has had a really hard past. She's had to learn how to stand up for herself, and she might, she can be very like cold and feel like she has to. And also Critica, the symbol of Critica is the blade. Your person could have a Critica Nakshatra. I'm just so strong here, you guys. So yeah, Critica is that energy of the blade, and cutting out things that don't belong. Again, I'm getting that as part of their spiritual mission, helping to carve and cut out a path and a way for people forward. That's actually really beautiful, but it's a double-edged sword. Your person definitely is dealing with a potent energy. And with Critica, I often think that any severance, your person can cut soul ties in this life, and that will be honored beyond it because of the nature of Critica as the blade. So your person has had to cut off some kind of toxic relationship in the past, and they might be a little bit emotionally cold because of that. But they are also the King of Wands. Your person's on a mission. Your person is very strategic. I'm seeing that with the energy of Mercury here too. Mercury is known for being like they come off super cutesy. Your person might come off super cutesy, but they are more strategic than you would give them credit for. Okay, Mercury ruled people, like a lot of times they're really small bodied, they can have freckles, little button noses, and they come off like super innocent, but the energy of Mercury is a highly intelligent energy. I'm telling you, your person is very smart. Very smart. It doesn't have to be a bad thing, you guys, but your person knows how to handle themselves. They can navigate themselves in the sphere of like the mind, you know? But there's a ton of really amazing energy here with Sagittarius and the Poet and the God card. I mean, this is a potent energy. And it is, I'm not trying to scare you. Like your person is a very powerful poet energy, but they're also benevolent. So yeah, with the King of Wands, your person could be doing something online. They could be, maybe Maybe they have like plans to travel. They could be an entrepreneur starting their own business. This is a person who has a lot of goals. They have a lot of charisma, but your person can control your wand. That's what I'm saying. I'm so hesitant to say that this is actual sexual misconduct, because your person, the King of Wands, knows how to contain his wand. He knows how to use that charismatic, very potent, very sexual, very Leo, very creative 5th house energy towards his goals. That's what your person's doing. I don't get a bad energy from your person at all. Quite the opposite. So that's what I'm saying, is like your person knows how to channel that energy in order to achieve their goals, basically. And then with the Knight of Pentacles, they do have a goal, and it's something that they love very much. With the Page and the Knight of Pentacles, this is they're always like, there's a sense of being like very enamored with something here. And like I said, like you see your person as achieving, oh my gosh, wow. First of all, I just saw this. You see your person as achieving some kind of material abundance in the near future. And then they have the Queen of Pentacles over here for that near future energy. But what's beautiful about the Queen of Pentacles is she's like very non-attached to it. She's one with her pentacle. She's one with the earth energy. This is a very nurturing energy, very motherly energy, very easygoing energy. This is easy abundance. This is somebody creating abundance through being themselves. So again, I think your person might be making solid strides with their Saturn energy. Your person could have been held back from money. There's an issue with money with your person. They could have Saturn in the 2nd house. They could have Saturn in the 10th house, where that money thing has been kind of a blockage, but that is starting to lift. And wherever Saturn sits, it's real. Like they have to work towards it, and it's real. So your person, all of this issue, they have issues with money. Your person has some kind of mental issues with money where they're not able to kind of get around it in their mind. But they are making solid strides towards that, because in their near future, they're starting to master that earthly suit. They do have money coming into their life, but it's like the best, because it's something kind of coming directly from them. It's not something they're super attached to. It just comes to them from like a really, really good place. So yeah, your person does have some kind of a goal that they're working on with the Knight of Pentacles. I feel like they know it's a long-term goal. They're willing to put in the work. They want to do it right with the Knight of Pentacles here. And I do feel like it's something, like he's offering it. I feel like this is something that they're offering to the world. And we also have that energy of the world here with the King of Wands. Your person feels a strong mission to help the world and to change the world. Some kind of with the energy of Wands, it's like a soul mission. And it's also something purifying, right? Fire purifies. Like if the whole world were just to like be lit on fire, like in a metaphorical, spiritual, alchemical sense, to burn away what is unnecessary in order to like be birthed kind of in this new light, in this new way here. So in the past, I do feel like this person, this is why I was saying I think that their father was kind of withholding with the King of Cups. I do think your person has a very spiritual past. Your person has spent a lot of time studying spirituality in a very cerebral way. Your person, that's why they're so articulate, is because it wasn't enough for them just to feel this. I do think they had a lot of like spiritual experiences, feeling experiences with the King of Cups, like that they maybe can't talk about. And it's through that feeling of feeling like they can't talk about it, or it's weird to talk about it, or nobody would ever understand them if they talked about it. They wouldn't be accepted if they talk about it, because there is that energy of not being accepted with your person. Through that, your person has really tried to think about the language that they're using, the skill that they're using, in order to be able to share that, in order to like try to mitigate any ridicule or something. Like this is the thing that they struggle against, your person, is like how to get that out. But your person has had, I'm getting this as spirituality. I think your person's very spiritual. They've had a lot of spiritual experiences, but I do think that their father was a very withholding person. I think their father loved them the best that they knew how. Like that's what your person will say. Really enough, like there might be energy of like maybe your person has a sibling and there was like one sibling was loved more, got more nourishment, and the other one didn't. But your person right now is in a state of reflection with the Four of Swords, and this is the Knights Templar. Whenever they would get back from battle, which you have this like battle energy with your person. There is like a warrior spirit to your person. They would lay in a coffin and they would reflect on how close they were to dying. And your person is a deep friggin' thinker. Like, they think about the meaning of life all the time. And so right now your person is in a state of withdrawal. When I'm shooting this video, we're all in quarantine for the world situation that we're in. And so your person just could be withdrawing, and they could be using this to further their spiritual practice. Your person is very spiritual. It wouldn't surprise me at all if they have some kind of meditation practice, some kind of daily practice that they're doing. So your person's doing a lot of reflecting. They could be thinking a lot about their goals. I think your person does have some goals. I think they're ready to break through whatever poverty. Your person has lack mentality. That's what these, like, and your person's ready to break through it. Your person's ready to break through it, and they want to, like, feel alive again. I'm thinking there's something, like, maybe they had like a coldness to their life, and they've always felt weird. They've always felt like an outsider, and they've let that hold them back in some kind of a way. And I feel like your person has a little bit of a victim-y mentality here, that you kind of see, and it makes them pull away from people. And so I think your person's ready to kind of confront this, and money could be a driving factor for them in this, where they're like, actually, I deserve abundance. Actually, money is not the problem. This earth stuff, it's not the problem. It can be very spiritual too. I'm having this epiphany right now because I'm reading this Liz Green book, and she's changing my freaking world. So, yeah, with the Queen of Pentacles, we already kind of talked about this, of like this energy of abundance, this energy of rising up into queen energy here, being very nurturing, being very stable, and being very, very well taken care of, allowing themselves. You see this in your person where it's like, allow yourself to be taken care of. You know what? They're starting to embrace that in the future. Also, she's got the Mercury, the wings of Hermes here. This is very intelligent. I cannot say enough how intelligent your person is. But you know what's funny is, like, just like this is the way that you see them. I think this is the way a lot of people see them. Like, a lot of people see them as like this sexy sex symbol, you know, Venus, and very charismatic, and maybe they're very jovial. They make jokes, maybe a lot of self-deprecating jokes and things like that. And that's how they kind of navigate the world. It's smart of them to do that because your person has been through a lot and they don't really trust people. But that's what you're not seeing, is that shrewd intelligence. This protective energy is highly intelligent in them, where they know to front like this so that people don't come at them. I relate to this person so much. Pile number 2. So anyways, the obstacle is the 3 of Pentacles. Pentacle energy, earth energy is a struggle for your person. Please take this away from this reading, pile number 2. Look into Pentacle energy and you'll know what they struggle with. And it's also the 3s, the group energy. They struggle to be in a group. They struggle to be in a group for any length of time. They want to ground this energy down, and I do feel like it is a heavy part of your person's mission. Their spiritual soul mission in this world is to help usher in a wave of new ideas, to bring in new energy, new lifeblood to this planet at this time, to help spiritually progress people, to help technologically advance people, or to help thought in the realm of thought. Your person is very inspiring. They're here to light candles. They're here to light fires through their voice, through their mind, through their intellect, through their ideas, through scripture, through the way that they're interpreting things. Your person sees things that other people do not see, especially when they're reading things. And they need to work together with people in order to create this mission, because your person needs a foundation. They need backbone. They need people of status around them, to be frank. Your person needs some, if they're going to be protected, and I think your person on some level knows this because they're trying damn hard to protect themselves. Your person spends a lot of energy self-protecting, and they need that around them. Your person really needs to be able to draw community to them. And I feel like a big source of their insecurity is feeling vulnerable, feeling orphaned. And so they might struggle taking direction too, taking leadership from people who do have some kind of expertise, but it's because your person doesn't trust. And your person, they don't trust pentacle energy, but they need pentacle energy around them. Your person's so crazy. Like, in the best way, where it's like they need that pentacle strong energy around them. Someone who has built something who has some staying power. And they need that around them and by them and under them, like, at all times. And I think if they had that for any length of time, they would start to relax into it. They would start to, like, settle down in the sediment. It would be a balm to their soul. And then they would be super effective at all the rest of this. Your person struggles with pentacle energy is basically the takeaway from this for me, because they're very spiritually, mentally developed, and an overall inspiration for people. They are the poet, the god, the guide, for sure. And the Don Juan. I think your person's sexy. I think your person has a ton of sexual energy. And I think they use it in a very calculating way. I don't necessarily get a hoey vibe from this person, but I do think they are calculated in how they use that charisma and sexual energy, to both keep them safe and to get attention, because your person needs attention to get their message out. So that's where they're using their sexual energy too. Yeah. Your person might struggle with like getting paid for spiritual things or something. So that could be in this servant energy that you're seeing them kind of, and self-sabotaging energy, but they're starting to come out of that. So that was a struggle for me, pile number 2, a little bit. I hope that resonated. Please let me know if it did in the comments below. I love to interact with you guys and hear how everything is resonating. And also I love hearing about your stories and stuff, if you're willing to tell me, because I do read everything, and I learn a lot from people just sharing their personal experiences. So that's what I have for you guys, group number 2. And I hope to see you back again. Bye. All right, pile number 3. Let's see who you think your person is and who they really are. All right. Pile number 3. Choose for pile number 3. Who they think their person is. Who they are versus who they want to be. Okay, pile number 3. First of all, I'm going to give you the same caveat that I gave the first 2 piles of, this is a lot of information. If you haven't been on my channel before, I take this journey very much with you. I have to take it in bite-sized pieces so I don't get overwhelmed. I did this reading once before, and I learned that I want to focus more on this side of like who they actually are. But we're going to focus on this side too. I'm going to do its due diligence, just so you can see if there's if this is resonating with you, and also just maybe you're getting some insight on how you're like actually seeing and relating to your person. So overall, what I can tell you, and like the overall energy that I'm getting, is that this is beautiful energy from your person, like how you see them and how they actually are. Like overall, I'm just getting like a really beautiful energy. And I could have guessed that from their totem, like this little owl being the rose quartz. It's somebody who's just super loving and having this chakra necklace. It's somebody who's very in touch with their spirituality, and owls are just, they're amazing creatures. Like what can't they do, honestly? I feel like I'm always learning something new about owls. They're also like killing machines. They're just so advanced to survive. Their necks spin all around. They're crazy hunters. The way that their wings move, like they move in a very silent way. Your person's very elegant. So, and just very intentional, and also very artistic and very beautiful. And I feel like that's how they are. I do feel like you see pieces of this in them. But I feel like they're a lot more of a genteel, passionate, intuitive, instinctual kind of a person. well, actually, I don't want to say then you give them credit for. We have the Moon card right here. This is super instinctual. With the Moon Mars card here, I'm seeing that you are seeing them as a very instinctual person. It's like this person feels things and then they make actions on that. You might see your person as very intuitive. This is actually a very balanced energy because we have basically air, water, and fire here. So this person overall is very, very well balanced, I'm seeing here. Let's see. I think that with the energy of air here, you see your person as a communicator, maybe a strong communicator with the Mars card here. They might be kind of no nonsense, but this is such a balanced energy here with all three of these cards that it's almost difficult for me to pull really anything out from this. This could be an artist, someone who uses their body and their voice as their art. So some kind of stage performer, something very cyclical and rhythmic with the Moon and the Mars energy here. Mars energy, a lot of times these people are very in their bodies, but the thing about Mars energy is that they tend to be like rough on the outside, mush gush on the inside. So you could be seeing that in your person. You could be seeing your person as a mother, like a very fierce mother. Somebody who is highly educated, someone who really values education. Your person could be a teacher of some kind. The body's coming through here. Your person could like really like do yoga or some kind of physical and something that's cyclical. Your person could follow some kind of a lunar calendar, but there's like cerebral energy mixed in with this very spiritual energy. I get the energy of Hasta a lot with piles, but just because Mercury and air are very similar to me. I know Virgo's an earth sign, but with that energy with the Moon, I'm getting that. So moving down here, so I have 2 cards for light attributes and then 2 cards for shadow attributes. So we have, I don't know how to say this word, dilettante? If someone knows how to say this, please tell me. I'm very curious about languagey stuff. And that the light attribute is the lights in the arts without having to be a professional alerts you to the danger of becoming superficial in your pursuits. Like, it would not surprise me if this person has some, like they dance or they have some kind of artistic expression. I'm getting that yeah, maybe they just are private about it, especially with the Moon card here. And there's something about it where it's like they keep it near and dear to themselves. With the child divine, we have innocence, purity, and redemption suggests a special connection with the divine. And I'm getting that with the Moon card too. Your person could be a mother. I'm getting that you view this person as in a very motherly light, but somebody who's also very fierce and very smart, someone who's very capable of being a protector for their child. And somebody who, I feel like this person's raising a very gifted child or would raise a very gifted child. Yeah, and again, you feel like there is some kind of an innocence to this person, some kind of a simplicity. You sense this person's very receptive nature to them. Moon people are often like, they're very sweet, they're very genuine. And people feel the need to kind of like protect them. So with but it's interesting because there's like this fierce side to your person too. This is like I'm saying, this is such a balanced energy. You view your person as being very balanced. And there's something about their hands. There is an artistic side to this person that has to do with their physical body and their innermost self. And I feel like maybe there's something about them where they put on this like kind of cold front to the world, but you see this very like juicy spiritual side to them. So for the shadow side, we have monk, nun, and networker. So monk, nun, the shadow attribute is negative judgment of the physical world, excess piety. We had some of this energy coming through in pile number 2, where I felt like that person had like an issue with like the pentacle, that earth element, and like with money and accepting abundance and things like that. Yeah. And then networker, the shadow attribute, is conveys information only for personal gain, spreads fear and falsehood. Okay, so isn't that interesting? Because it's like negative judgment of the physical world, but then we also have conveys information only for personal gain. So that to me says maybe your person, the kind of gain that they want is not so much physical, like material. Maybe it is, but I really don't think that it is. it's like some kind of social recognition. You see your person as like a social climber or some kind of social recognition. Maybe you feel like your person uses their femininity in order to get something that they want. They use their feminine sexual expression in order to get something that they want. Maybe you see this person as very manipulative of masculine energy here. In a very feminine way, where this person is very like quiet. They like, and you see your person as smart, and you see your person as like very spiritual. They make a solid argument. Like your person makes a solid argument, but you just see them kind of using that for the wrong reasons, you know? So what's interesting is you also see them as the Ace of Pentacles. So maybe your person just started a business, they moved into a new house. There's some kind of physical new start here in the realm of Pentacles. And maybe that's why you're picking up on this energy, because they might say things like, it's ridiculous that I have to pay for this, or I have to pay so much for this, or, you know, why is this so difficult? Maybe they struggle with like paperwork or something, and they're kind of just like saying, your person's like kind of like a child at heart, you know? They don't want to have to deal with like paperwork and things, I feel like. But with the Nine of Wands, like there's a defensive energy. And again, I feel like that goes hand in hand with the moon, and also with Mars, where your person has really been through a lot. And that could be what they're using their spirituality for. This person could have some hidden secrets, maybe some inner child work, some addictions that there's a ton of child energy here. And also, your person has undergone some psychological trauma, especially with the Moon Mars. Whenever you have this in Sinistry, Moon Mars, my husband and I actually have this. Usually this is a highly significant placement of people who want to have children together. Like there's a drive to procreate when this is in two people, right? The danger is, because the Mars person always wants to protect the Moon person, because their most masculine, like, go get 'em place meets up with their person's most feminine place, right? And this tends to work out better when the Moon is the more feminine energy and the Mars is the more masculine energy. Otherwise, it makes people feel very uncomfortable, because this Moon is a very psychologically sensitive place. So the risk is that over time, this person kind of starts to needle at this person. So that's what I'm saying. This is the energy of like psychological trauma. There could have been an abusive ex in this person's past. So maybe you see them as coming off as very logical. This person could have like a psychology degree or something. This experience could have, you know, and that's something that you're seeing in your person, is that they kind of come off cold. They're very protective. Maybe they had a child with this person that was abusive or something, and you see them as being very protective over them. I'm also getting that with the Strength card down here. This is Major Arcana. So you see your person as a survivor, as a fighter, as someone who has overcome, as someone who is very strong, but also very human. Because this is the first human that you see in the journey of the Major Arcana. There's something with your person's hands, you guys, which again, I'm getting that energy of Hasta. And tools. Your person might work with their hands, work with some kind of tools. Maybe they do tapping, like if they're a psychologist, they work with like tapping, energy centers on the body, something like that. They help people literally physically move energy. Like this could be some kind of psychological yoga teacher that teaches for children or something. That helps to physically move energy from people's bodies. In some kind of therapeutic setting is how you're seeing this person. Your person's strong. AF. In your eyes. So in the past, this person I think you see was in a relationship. This person could have even been in a romantic relationship with you, but I'm kind of getting that it was somebody else. So maybe you see this person is recovering from this, because now you see them in a very independent energy. Somebody stepping into this Emperor energy. Again, there's a masculine and a feminine side to your person, and maybe you felt like your person was more feminine in the past. But now they're rising up into that masculine energy in order to be protective, in order to like run things, you know, and make sure that everybody is taken care of around them. Because I do feel like your person suffered some kind of injustice. And in the future, you see them as moving away from troubled times. So yeah, you're seeing your person as a survivor here. And then the biggest obstacle is judgment. Maybe your person faces judgment for having left a relationship. There's some kind of divorce. Or like the fact that they're embodying this masculine energy, you see them getting really, really judged for, even though you see this person as stepping up and stepping out into their healing and embracing both masculine and feminine aspects of themselves. You see this person is self-integrating their masculine and feminine sides. So that being said, let's move over, y'all. and see who your person actually is. This, first of all, is freaking amazing energy. If I could unzip your person like a tauntaun and live my life inside of them, I think I might do that, because they just have such amazing energy as a person. First of all, your person is very feminine. Your person, whether they're masculine or feminine, they are very feminine in their internal self-expression. But they are also goal-oriented. They are charismatic. They are sexy. They have goals and they move towards them. You're picking up on that with the Emperor energy down here and the Mars energy over here. But it's broader than that. It's and it's more spread out than that. And there is like a bit of a femininity to this. Look at this card, right, with the butterfly. And it's all about transformation. And I'm getting the energy of the phoenix here, of like somebody burning in their own ashes. And it's just an incredibly beautiful, I'm going to keep saying it, it's a beautiful, beautiful energy that your person is involved in over here. Your person is highly spiritual, and they are learning who they are. Your person, fire, the element of fire reminds me of what Jung called the process of individuation, which is finding your own personal self-expression. That is the part that the element of fire represents in the spiritual journey. The part that water represents and ultimately ends up at Pisces is relational energy and communal energy, which ultimately in Pisces, right, like that starts off with that Cancerian energy, that energy of the home, where you're so young that your subconscious hasn't even formed yet, and it's very instinctual and it's very private. That moves into the Scorpionic energy of personal power and relationships, one-on-one relationships, which then moves into this Pisces energy of becoming one with the all and actually merging with the all in that mystical marriage, is what I think people call it. But so you see both of these kind of coming together, where your person is learning how to step into their own personal power. They are transforming. They are using the shit experiences of their past to compost themselves. They are becoming the phoenix. They are burning away what no longer serves them. And they are having their own, they're figuring out who they are. And they're having their own unique self-expression. They're stepping out into their light. They're not afraid to show who they are. And maybe they have been in the past, and there is a bit of a delicateness to this, right? There's a delicateness to fire, of how easily it can go out. But your person is aware of it and they're trying to protect it. There's also the delicateness of the butterfly, right? And there's a duality to it. Your person is, they're okay with ambiguity. They're okay with expressing all sides of themselves. And honestly, there's a fleeting, fire signs are aware of like the fleeting nature of life, and that we better not waste time. If we have goals, and we better do our transformation, we better take our licks, we better, go after the things that we want and have fun while we're doing it. Your person's probably funny, very charismatic, definitely charismatic with this energy here. And also Venus, the energy of Venus. But that Pisces mixed with the fire energy reminds me of that Pisces Aries cusp, and that's like very Queen of Wands to me. With this Pisces energy, I see that your person is very spiritual, very whole. There's such an amazing quality to this Pisces energy, because you have like the very... Venus, first of all, is exalted here, and you have Venus in Pisces. So this person is highly loving. This is counselor, healer energy. People feel good around your person. They sense that there is healing to be found in your person, and there is just an extreme beauty. I feel like your person has a really nice mouth. Pisces have really good mouths. I don't know. It's just something I think. And I feel like whenever they speak of very spiritual things, and they speak probably from experience. This is a person who has lived, who's walked their talk, right? I wasn't picking up on a ton of earth energy over here in the way that you think about them. I do see that you see them as starting something in the new. They could have literally moved, because I think you're seeing your person is leaving a relationship. And with the Venus energy, I'm seeing earth, beautiful earth. That second house, Venus ruled by Taurus energy in particular, as like a big part of who they are. This is a person who likes simple pleasures in life. They're very sensual. They're probably very beautiful, very seductive. Definitely your person has a seductive quality to them. And they are very relationship focused. I can see that, but it's like they're relationship focused, but they need to be themselves and have their own personal self-expression. That might not have been a part of who they were in the past, but it is definitely a part of who they are going forward. There's a huge, with all this green, there's a huge amount of like heart and healing energy for your person, where your person's like, they might have a really big heart chakra. And just creative. Your person's also very creative. They have like a huge creative self-expression. Your person might be an artist. Ooh, definitely. This is the energy of an artist. And if they're not doing any kind of art that you're aware of, maybe they write in their journal. This is like the soul and the spirit of an artist. Very poetic in the way that they think. This is a person who is a very potent healer. A lot of times Taurians, I'm getting the energy of Taurus, they make their money off of, with their hands. They really know how to touch people. And you are picking up on hand energy over here as well, but it's less Hasta and more Taurus, I'm kind of getting. This person could be a massage therapist or very sensual. They'll touch you in a very intentional, very loving, very soft way. You might just actually feel the love when this person touches you. So moving down here, for the light attributes, we have Samaritan and Mediator. So the light attribute for Samaritan is refines your capacity to help those you would prefer to ignore. And the Mediator is gift for negotiating fairness and strategy in personal and professional life, respect for both sides of an argument. So what I'm getting is that your person, first of all, is a helper. They help people in need. This person might work with vulnerable populations. I'm getting the energy of a healer, of a counselor here. Somebody who especially likes to work with children, maybe addicts, but somebody who like works with people that need help and that are vulnerable, maybe abuse victims, addicts, some people that like are downtrodden and society would prefer to ignore. And this person's like, hell no, those are my people. And with the Mediator energy, with this gift for negotiating fairness and strategy in personal and professional life, that personal and professional life, your person is balancing, they're unifying, right? Yoga means union. Like everything means union. There's something to the duality of this world. And with Pisces here, Pisces is one of the dual signs. And I'm really getting that energy of like getting real, that your person's getting real with themselves. Your person does not want to be seen as a sex object. If they have been seen as a sex object in the past because they're so damn sexy, they are over that shiz. They have shit to do. And they are negotiating those parts of themselves where it's like your person is trying to have more balance in their life. They're seeing more and more of the whole picture. They want to develop all four of those elements, the fire aspect, the water aspect, the earth aspect, and the air aspect. They want to they're getting their house in order. And your person also with their words, there's something with their voice here with Venus and that second house energy. And also Venus rules Libra. And that we have the Mediator card. So that's the energy of like your person could work one-on-one with people. With the energy of Pisces here, they could work with a group too. If they could like teach yoga to a group and then like work privately one-on-one with people or something like that. With this Mediator energy, your person's a skilled communicator. And again, there's something about experience where your person's learned this through experience here. Maybe your person is even like a relationship counselor with Venus here, where they bring in spiritual elements or things like that, and they help people to find their own individual self-expression and bring that together in some kind of unity. I see your person doing that in their own life. They could do that professionally as well. So your person is like very focused on balance. Your person is a very pleasant energy, you guys. I can't even like say that enough. So with artist and gossip here, for the shadow attributes, we have, artist. Using talent as an excuse to mistreat others, posing as the starving artist to elicit pity. Okay? And then gossip. Shadow attributes. Thrives in the power of passing on private or secret information, betraying confidences. Okay. These sound like shadow side Pisces to me. Now, I'm getting protective of these people, I'm realizing. Like, I did the same thing in pile number 2, where I was like, I don't necessarily get, like, super bad energy from this. Maybe be careful what you say to this person. But your person has been through something in the past. And I kind of get that, like, that might be their story. Like, they might have a bio. This could be something that they rely on, because it's their story to... I don't think that your person mistreats others, okay? We have so many cards that say to the contrary here, but they could be posing as a starving artist to elicit pity. Like, there's something about them where it's like, poor me, I've been through so much. Pisces kind of can do that, like to get what they want, especially in a romantic sort of a sense. My mom has a lot of Pisces energy. She's been like divorced 3 times, and but like with all of her relationships, I'm not trying to throw my mom under the bus here, she's a great lady, but she like has this very potent like damsel kind of energy to her, and that men just couldn't. I just noticed that when I was growing up, like men just kind of really couldn't help but like want to save her. And your person might have like the same kind of energy of posing as like, they have this artistic energy to them, right? And they might be posed as like this, you know, wounded artist that doesn't like really make enough money, but in order to like kind of get pity from people. I don't like I said though, I don't really get like that bad of an energy from that. Like your person, I think legitimately has been through some things, you know, but they are getting stronger, I think is just what this is saying. It's like they're getting stronger, but it's like their story and they're sticking to it kind of a thing. So with gossip, thrives in the power of passing on private or secret information and betraying confidences. I mean, your person could work as a counselor and people could open up and tell them things and they could really like that. They could really get a sense of power from that. I don't necessarily think that your person is always betraying confidences, especially if your person is in some kind of a profession where they can't, because of like HIPAA and stuff, like they can't betray people's confidences. They just might get off on like, you know, feeling trusted and feeling like powerful in that kind of a way. But again, I don't like it's super negative energy, but I do think every once in a while something might slip out of this person's mouth, because Venus, like being really, you know, kind of chit chatty, and Pisces energy can be kind of gossipy, like shadow side, and also shadow side fire signs. You know, especially like shadow side Sagittarius, because Sagittarius can be just like so blunt, and even Aries, like so blunt and so like just cardinal, and like, you know, such a cardinal energy that your person might just say things and like not even think anything of it kind of thing. So maybe just be careful what you say to this person. So with the Page of Pentacles, I see that, and the Six of Pentacles, your person, I do think, is making some kind of strides in their career. They're focused on a passion project that they have. But I do see like your person's very generous. Again, I'm getting this Samaritan energy with the Six of Pentacles there. But this is given from a place of superiority. So there is something like where your person likes to be seen in like a high light. Who doesn't, you know? But there is like a lot of generosity. Your person likes to give. If they do have extra, they like to give to charity. There's something, your person might do a lot of volunteer work. And it might just work. I see a person who works with vulnerable populations here. With the Page of Pentacles, your person could have a child. Or your person could just like they could have like a big vision for themselves and for their art, or for their, like, there's always a sense of being really enamored with like the Page of Pentacles and the Knight of Pentacles. But it's like a journey that they know is going to require a lot of work for them, you know, and your person might be quite new to like earth element kind of a thing, you know. Also, I am getting this shadow side element a little bit of like using talent as an excuse to mistreat others, posing as a starving artist to elicit pay. Like they might be kind of showing up as this Page of Pentacles, but really, and sometimes they show up as the Six of Pentacles, depending on when it suits them kind of a thing. So, oh wow, we have heavy Scorpio energy here. We have death twice. So we have death up here. I'm getting that your person is a healer, deep healer. There's a heavy psychological, I'm starting to lose my voice, you guys. I'm so sorry. These have been very long readings. So there's something of a psychological nature to your person. Your person is a deep diver. They help people compost and transmute new things, open new doors, cut relationship ties, cut cords. Your person could literally walk people through cord cutting ceremonies or something like that. But they help people rebuild themselves after tough times, whether that is some kind of abuse victim or addict, or somebody who has been in a rough relationship, some kind of, maybe they do some like divorce something or other. But there's a huge transformative energy with your person, both personally and professionally, I'm getting as well, where they kind of lead people through this process. And I think they rely heavily on their own experience in their work to do that. So in their past, we've had this death experience, right? I feel like you pick up on this, or you know this about them, where maybe they went through a divorce. Maybe there was a relationship filled with power dynamics that wasn't really super healthy. Maybe it was a lot different behind the scenes than they really let on, and it was very painful. Maybe this person isolated them from their parents or their families or their friends in some kind of a way. maybe this person had a lot of money, maybe they had a lot of money like together, and that was kind of keeping them trapped. Some kind of energy like this in their past, but then they got away, and they, this is major arcana energy, right? The death card. You also have the world here. This is the completion of a cycle. I feel like your person got away, and they, maybe they got educated. They could have like gone to some kind of a counseling program or something, but this is like the completion of a cycle with the world here. Your person could do something online. They could be kind of like seen in a way. Your person is seen as very beautiful. Your person can have, I always think Danishta with this. That is that Mars energy that you could be picking up on, because Danishta is very beautiful. A lot of like really big supermodels kind of have that energy to their chart, like Cindy Crawford, and I think Marilyn Monroe had Danishta. And there's always this sense of like that person though, and that quality to them being used by especially masculine energy for some kind of material gain. They're very convincing. They're very sexual. Like your person's very sexual. They're good with their words. So yeah, very convincing. Like your person can be very convincing, but there's maybe a sense, and you get this with the moon. You're picking up on that with the moon card over there, that there's a sense that there's a receptivity to your person. There's a gentleness, very trusting nature to your person, where they could maybe very easily get taken advantage of. But your person is kind of protected, and your person is, they're seen in a highlight. They're seen as coming out somewhat victorious. And I think this is from kind of a crap relationship. But take the metaphor of that relationship to see what's behind it if it's not an actual relationship, you know. They were in some kind of rough situation and came out kind of like victorious, but in a very feminine way, where like your person speaks openly about it. They're very vulnerable with it. They probably have a very good sense of humor with it. And again, with the physicality here, like your person might do yoga, they might hula hoop. I always get hula hooping with this, and especially with the Mars card, because Martian ruled people, they're very rhythmic with their bodies. Your person can be like a dancer. There's just this energy of art with their body that I'm getting. In the future, we have the Knight of Pentacles. We have the Page of Pentacles up here. Like your person is definitely, maybe they're starting a business, a counseling business, a healing business, some kind of art business. But it's something that they love, they take very seriously. They've taken time to strategize and plan out through like a labor of love. And they're trying to take calculated risks in moving that forward. And the main obstacle to this, I'm going to try to wrap this up because my voice is hurting so bad, but it's the Ace of Swords. And this could be gossip. This could be cutting out things that no longer serve them. But I'm really kind of getting that this is the energy of gossip. Your person, I think, is very beautiful and very talented, and they often attract a lot of gossip. And maybe there is a person or like an organization or something that's very strict with them, and it kind of thwarts this artistic energy. There's like contracts and words and, you know, very harsh, strict like deadlines or goals or quotas or something that they have to make. Yeah, there's some kind of journey of the mind. Like maybe this is also schooling, where it's like your person has to like go to school and get their business running at the same time or something. So it's a lot to kind of manage there. So that is what I have for you guys, pile number 3. I really hope that resonated. Please do like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. I love hearing from you guys, and I really do learn so much from like you guys sharing your personal experiences and what resonated in the reading and what didn't resonate. Thank you so much for taking the time, and I hope this was informative. Bye.